Show more, really happy. We're back with another episode. I think our second episode. The top 15 rappers from each one of us. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good one today. And then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, so guys, as he explained, we're back with another episode. We are going to give you our top 15 rappers of all time. We know the list will be controversial to many, so arguments will be had and then fun will also be had. So hope you guys are in for a good one.
Yeah, so let's get down to business. As they've said, this is the Come Up podcast. Today we'll be discussing the top 15 rappers of all time.
Just remember to like, subscribe.
Yeah.
So
now we're getting down to business. As they've said that we'll be starting from top 50. So we'll be starting from the bottom and going up. So my number 15 rapper will be Nipsey Hussle. And the reason for this is because of his impact on the West Coast as a whole. His whole movement of being a hustler. The voice that he had a unique voice. He had, I wouldn't say he was lyrical because most people when coming to lyrical they have different opinions. There's some they say rhymes, some they say bars. He was not the reality rap, he was realistic. Everything he was writing about was his lifestyle, so that's why he's on my top 15 rappers of all time. And I'm past the opportunity.
So in my number 15 I have Ghostface Killer, one of the members of the Wu-Tang Clan, the greatest rap group of all time in my opinion. And then I want to talk about Ghostface Killer. I think in my opinion he is the greatest Wu member of all time. I think he has one of the greatest solo albums with Supreme Clientele, and also his debut album Iron Man is one of the greatest albums of all time. And the reason why I have Ghostface as the only member of the Wu-Tang who's in my top 15, I think his charisma and his persona, the Iron Man persona, I think he was one of the first rappers who came up with the idea of having a persona in order for them to be able to tackle their concepts they have for music by using the characters of other people. Like for example, he has the Iron Man persona. So he's been known as one of the greatest, flyest rappers of all time. And I think the way he respects hip-hop, the way he has, been true to himself, and the ideas of the Wu-Tang as a whole has made him special in my opinion. And again, I think he's one of hip-hop most beloved rappers of all time. And I think his consistency, with him starting in 93 till now, he just released an album last year with Mass Appeal. He has been consistent. So I think, yeah, Ghostface is one of the greatest rappers of all time. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, man. I hear you, man, but I see you guys have everything under control.
This nigga just said a handful of things, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get you. No, I think maybe not from my side. My number 15 would be DMX. Just in general, I think for me, just to keep it blunt, this nigga was raw. For his time, he understood the assignment when we spoke about what is hip-hop, and with the both sides of the coin, being hard and also giving you emotional songs like I'm Slipping, I'm Falling, So give me a number 15, and then going to number 14, I put this guy's favorite rapper, Jay-Z. Jigga man, big pimpin'. Basically for me, I think the reason why he's top 15 on the number 14 for me, he has had a big impact in the rap game, and he has grown rap to avenues where rappers never thought they can get, like in terms of business-wise, entrepreneurship. So I put him on the number 14.
Yeah, so I'm at number 14. Funny enough, I have the same. I have DMX, like he explained. I'm just going to add a little bit more about DMX. So I think DMX is one of the few rappers that have popularized the genre of horrorcore rap. I think his debut album is Dark and Hell is Hot. Yeah, DMX is Dark Hell is Hell. It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
It's one of the
1998. And I specifically want to talk about that year, the year that he had in 1998. He had 2 platinum albums. He had one of the greatest years in hip hop. He dominated that whole year. And again, the impact that he had on that year, he was able to be featured on most of the albums that came after. Like he was featured on Eminem, he was featured by Nas, Jay-Z, so many rappers, and I think he solidified himself as one of the greatest rappers of all time. So shout out DMX and rest in peace.
Yeah, so my number 14 will be KRS-One, knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. And I think this is a biased opinion to put him number 14. I think it should be probably top 10 or top 5. But okay, the reason why I put him here is because this guy is the epitome of this thing called hip hop, right? This is the library of, you know, our culture. He is the, we can say, these are the people who put the movement forefront. Him, the Rakims, the, you know, the type of albums that they had during their time were very classic. And I'm going to for number 18 now. So my number 18 would be Ice Cube. And the reason for Ice Cube is that if you consider NWA to be the top, because we have it over here, if you consider them to be top rap group of all times, you should know that Ice Cube was writing most of their lyrics. He used to write a lot of movies, so he's an artist basically. And his storytelling, you can say, you can put him with Biggie, even if Biggie is more of a storyteller, but Ice Cube is up there as well. So yeah, I'm gonna pass the bar.
Yeah, I'm thankful that you included KRS-One, and I think our brother here also included KRS-One. Sadly, I didn't include KRS-One, but I do believe that he's one of the most fundamental rappers in hip-hop. Sadly, I just feel like he doesn't have enough to be in the top 15, but yeah, that's a conversation for another day. So number 13, I have, I think, Joe, hip-hop's most lovable rapper, which is Wayne.
Yeah.
Wayne. Yeah,
Wayne.
I have Wayne. I have the king of tattoos. I have the king of mixtapes. I have the man who dominated, you know, the latter years of the 2000s decade.
Yeah.
I think he's one of, I think his career is one of the most beautiful careers in hip hop. Keeping in mind that he started at, I think, at the age of 16. He was a millionaire by the age of 17, and I think he has produced one of the greatest albums of all time. And I think his favorite album for me, which is the Carter 2, which was dropped in 05, I think it's Wayne's best album. So I think his punchlines, his bars, and I've seen that last year or during the year 2024, some people said that Wayne doesn't have substance, and I think it's quite crazy to say that. It's absurd to say that Wayne doesn't have substance. Maybe don't know Wayne like we know Wayne. And again, the people that he put on, you know, he put on so many people. He made this beautiful thing called, you know, I think he was one of the pioneers of the trap music. So I think Wayne is one of the greatest rappers of all time and one of my favorite rappers of all time. So shout out to Wayne, shout out to Mr. Carter. Yeah.
Morgan. Yeah, gents. No. Mr. Carter, aye. So he's one of my inspirations when I started making music. And in terms of substance, yes, people would listen to just the punchlines because they fell in love with the punchlines because his game was punchlines. But if you really have followed Lil Wayne, you know that he had songs for days, and he had a hell of a run again. So unfortunately, he's not on my list. But the next one would be very controversial, I know. My number 14, I put Kendrick Lamar.
I'm not on the
13, my number 13, excuse. I put Kendrick Lamar. Basically, I know this year and the previous year he had a hell of a phenomenal run.
Yeah.
So you would be thinking he should be top 5, but I still feel like if we're looking at the entirety of hip hop,
the quality.
there's been a lot of different niggas. But as you know, Kendrick will always give you that social commentary, introspection. So he's still a good lyricist in terms of hip hop. I still feel like he still has a little bit of way to go to really cement himself with the upper echelons of the top 5 type hip hop rappers that we've known. So I put him at number 13. Don't kill me, don't hate me. They're not like us.
They're not like us.
So now my number 12. So again, so right?
You get it serious with it.
I took J.Cole, and specifically I think these two, J.Cole and Kendrick Lamar, we know their capabilities, we know their discography. It is solid, but again, I think once you look at our top 5s, you start seeing the difference, in heritage, in a sense of hip hop. I think in music wise, musically, these people are really dope. J. Cole, as you know, from his first mixtapes to his now album, The Fall Off.
2-6.
I think it speaks for itself. I think for me, for Your Eyes Only is really the dopest that I've ever heard him speaking and actually storytelling. Okay. So I put him at 12, but I think it will change in the years to come. They'll probably move up, these two. So yeah, just put them there.
Yeah, J. Cole is one of the greatest. J. Cole obviously is one of the greatest. But at number 12, I also have J. Cole at number 12. So we finally agree with something. But like he said, from his understanding and his opinion, J. Cole is better than Kendrick. And then I think he gave good reasons for that. But sadly, I disagree. Because I think in terms of impact and storytelling and the way he was able to bring back what the likes of the Tupacs, the KRS-Ones, the Talib Kwalis, the Tribe Called Quest, the Nas, thank you. I think Kendrick Lamar delivered when it came to that. And for the fact that I don't think a lot of people know this, but one of the most fundamental universities in the world, which is Harvard, there's actually a course where they teach about to keep a butterfly. So I just wanted to speak why I think Kendrick is better than J. Cole. So talking about J. Cole, so J. Cole is one of the most underrated rappers of all time. I think after the beef, a lot of people were saying that he's boring, and I'm also, guilty too, because I think I was also one of the people that said that, yeah, he's boring. But then I think his humility and the way and how he's done to it, I think that's one of the reasons why people underrate him. But I think he also had one of the greatest decades in hip hop during the 2010s, and I think his run from Bon Cena to 2014 and For Your Eyes Only is one of the greatest three albums of all time. So yeah.
So okay, number 12 they say they both have J. Cole. For number 12 I have Kendrick Lamar. For me J. Cole is on my top 5, but we'll get to that. The reason why I put Kendrick Lamar for number 12, I think they've already said the reasons why. I don't think they've mentioned Section 88 to Pimp the Butterfly. I think they said it to Section 80, man, not 18. Section 80 to Pimp the Butterfly. Adam, what is this thing? This price it was the this price for what it's gonna get a Pulitzer Prize. Yeah, so there is a prize, Pulitzer Prize, so this lyricism.
What can I ask?
Yeah.
Maybe let's ask that question. So just because he has a Pulitzer Prize, and he has a, let's say, you said a course at Harvard, does that then just necessarily say in hip hop terms he should be better than Tupac?
Nah.
Let's say Tupac.
No,
I never said that.
No, wait. We never said you said that. It's a question that we're trying to figure out to say.
We're trying to dissect.
So I gotta remember this is a hip hop conversation, right?
So there isn't like.
So I'll tell you this. Maybe I'm looking at it in a different way. These are people who are looking from outside, who are giving these prizes, who are pushing these let's say the courses, right? But the people inside hip hop, right? That's the question I'm asking. Do we then just say because those people from outside gave this, it warrants us saying that Kendrick is the best?
No, that's why the reason why Kendrick we have him number 12, I think we have him number 15 or something. It's not because necessarily he is the greatest. You have people like Pac, you have people like Biggie and Rakim. Not because
I want this discourse. You know why I'm asking this discourse? Because I always feel like we tend to take a lot of input from outside, right, and then forget the impact of hip hop within.
Sometimes like we use quantity
as a culture inside, right? But it's fine. It's like this. We'll have a conversation about it.
Kendrick looks up to Pac. Like there's no rapper who I think doesn't look up to Pac. But then there's no course at Harvard for Pac. There's no other prize for Pac. So those are the questions we should be talking about. Like, does it negate what Pac is, who he is?
But we'll
talk about that.
we'll have another episode before another because I feel like we need to have a discourse in terms of this to say
we need to dive
what are we using to say
to scale this thing
yeah.
to
so you can continue.
Yeah, so okay, that was my number 12. My number 11 would be AC. Okay, wait. So the reason why, because he said I must explain why I'm saying AC. When I listen to AC, I mean, there's no difference to Nas, right? The lyricism, the wordplay, like the rhymes.
From the same hood.
They're from the same hood. And at first I used to think
Nas is from Queensbridge and AC is from Brooklyn.
yeah, but the more like rap the same.
New York,
yeah, it's still the same. So if you don't know AC and you hear him rapping, you probably think it's Nas. So yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with him. I think AZ is also one of the greatest of all time, and he's also quite, overlooked because he's not really that popular. So that's also
why though.
I think most people prefer popularity over the quality of the music. I think most people.
So sometimes you can say it's about quantity, it's not about quality.
Because
that's why
in my head I'm like,
I mean, this guy's lyrical.
On a random, you never hear a person speak about AZ.
Exactly.
But he's up there.
He's up there.
He's up there. So.
Yeah, and I love that he mentioned Life's a Bitch. I think Life's a Bitch, AZ's verse is, in my opinion, a top 5 verse of all time.
The first verse. Yeah.
So at my number 11, I wanted to talk about Kanye West. And guys, please, in the comments, I want you guys to attack the both of them for not having Kanye West in a top 15 list of all time. Imagine Kanye West, guys. Talk about Jesus. But I think in terms of artistry, not MCing, not being conceptual. We talk about artistry.
Yeah.
Kanye West is one of the greatest artists of all time. And yes, I think maybe his lyricism might be below par. His lyricism cannot be compared to the likes of Big L's, Big Pun's, the Lupes, but I think he tried, and he also has one of the most controversial lyrics of all time. So I think that 5 album run from the College Dropout up until My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I want you guys to understand this. He dropped the College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, 808 and Heartbreak, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Consecutively, those 5 albums like this. So I think he has solidified himself as one of the greatest.
Being a producer as well.
Yeah, also a producer.
So in terms of when you're saying artistry, right? Are we speaking in terms of his producer cap or his hip hop?
When it comes to talking about artistry, he's someone who's constantly firing in all cylinders. When you're looking at all the aspects of hip hop, I think he's great at rapping. He's great at compiling a great album. He's put on amazing artists. He has a good ear for music.
But do you really think that with in terms of let's put away the whole side stories, the producer, the how he thinks and stuff, and we go to the nuts and bolts of rhyming and putting words together, can you put Kanye above J.Cole?
No, but like I mentioned, I said when it comes to rapping, I don't
You
think
said
he's...
artist.
Yeah, I think...
No.
When it comes to rapping, I think the likes of J.Cole, even the West Side Gun, Freddie Gibbs, Rock Marciano, they are above him. When it comes to pen to paper, I think he's not really that great.
Okay.
And again, rapping, which is MCing, is also one of the aspects of hip hop. So that is not the only aspect which you can see.
No, I wanted to understand a little bit to say, because the problem is that if we go for that's why I want us to understand the top hip hop artists.
Yeah.
You're also going for the aspects of the other shenanigans, not just hip hop.
Not just hip hop.
Okay. No, I just wanted to understand.
And again, I think you need to also remember what he has done for hip hop. When hip hop was during the time where gangster rap was popular, when 50 Cent came in, I think when Jay-Z, the Nas, the Lil Wayne's, when they came, Kanye West came up with the Chipmunk soul. That graduation sound, it was so unique, it was so new. What he has done also he changed the way hip hop, the direction of production.
I think, but there were rules as well for that era. you should mention as well.
so yeah, when the whole
as well, bro. Like they're not gangster.
This conversation with Kanye always comes up. Trust you me, in terms of when we look at where we rank him, right? It always comes up to say, okay, we get it. We get it. He's amazing in artist.
But I think we should like start compiling an again. The listed our rappers ex-pop, because when we mention Drake,
but
they're more like same as
Because 808 is like 808 is not a per se rap album. If you listen
like
to 808,
because when we listen to J.Cole,
it's similar to
when we're talking J.Cole, right? J.Cole is considered as a rap. It doesn't change.
Exactly, it's very similar.
But again, I think Joe also 808 was also unique for hip hop because he brought in 808 and auto tunes.
No, Bo, I don't mind that. I'm just trying to say 808. If we're really this is the conversation we'll have about Drake as well, right? It's good to bring in new listeners, right? But we're still talking about hip hop, so we also cannot forget what is hip hop.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
So we need to be very. It's fine. We'll have another episode. It's okay. I just wanted to figure that out to say, okay, cool. Because why am I saying J. Cole specifically? Because Cole also produces, right?
Yeah.
So now, if we're looking at them in terms of artistry, are you still saying he's better than? We'll talk about it, sharp, my brother.
But that was like top level. Right?
Number 11.
Yeah.
Number 11.
So then explaining Kanye.
Oh, you still want to continue?
I'm fine with Kanye, but
they're gonna kill us in the comments. They're gonna get
Kanye. And again, also you need to remember that he also revived the career of Jay-Z, guys. You need to remember that. He revived.
I'll take it. That I'll take.
He put on Common.
That I'll take.
Why would you say
revive?
Why would you? Because I think he produced album. Jay-Z. Would you say Jay-Z was? Would you say Jay-Z had fallen off as a rapper?
Dog, Nas and Jay-Z. If you are familiar with hip hop, Nas and Jay-Z, their careers were declining during the late 90s. We all know that. Everyone knows that.
Okay.
So after,
why would you say they were declining?
The albums they put out, you have Nostradamus, you have an album like I Am, and then J. Cole.
So what made Nas pick up? Because Nas never.
Nas the beef that he had with Hove revived his career. Also Hove. The beef that he had with Nas, it also played an impact.
You tell us in the comments what you think about what he just said. So
Kanye West, shout out to Ye, don't understand.
So you see, we spend like
shout out to the first year, second year, but fine. I think for now I don't want to talk a lot, but for you too. My number 11 is Guru. Basically for me, the run he had with Gangsta. If you know, you know. I don't even need to say anything. You can move, bro.
Yeah, I love that he mentioned.
I think go for number 10.
Number 10?
Yeah.
Because I think
nah, go ahead.
Number 10, I took Common. Common Sense. I think in terms of him, it's based on lyricism, basically conscious rapping. He put on conscious rap in a sense where it was laid back. It needed no artificial guns in the mix. He was just soulful and impactful, and I think even if you go to his small, short discography, you can listen and you will understand.
Yeah, I love the fact that he mentioned Common and Guru, even though I didn't. But shout out to those two niggas, especially Guru. Yeah, gang, one of the other half of Gangsta. So at number 10, I think I have one of the most important figures in hip hop, which is Rakim. Started back in the 80s with Mali Mal and Eric B. He has albums like You Can Sweat the Technique, Paid in Full, The Master, and then he has one of my favorite album, which is the 18th Letter, which released in 97. So I think Rakim pioneered hip hop. I think if it wasn't for Rakim, we wouldn't have an album like Illmatic. I think he took hip hop from being just mixing words to making it more like poetic.
Yeah.
So Rakim, Joe.
And I think also you should also give him his roses for making this whole set of albums without profanity. I don't think he ever cursed on a song, right? Except for saying the N word, but That's just a slang we call, each other as black men. So
Number 10.
So my number 10, like you said, for him is the important figure. Number 10 for me is the white guy, Eminem. And the only reason for this, definitely the wordplay, the lyricism, this, and how because when he came, he revived Dr. Dre's career, right? You can say he had a whole movement that I think it made. I'm not trying to be, now trying to like black and white, but he brought the whole again white people back to rap. So white people started listening to rap mostly with Eminem again. My number 9 would be Scarface.
Before it's Eminem, I want to ask a bit of a question with Eminem.
Okay.
So Eminem had a whole trailer trash image when he started, right? And then you said he revived Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
But I think what we're missing is Dr. Dre actually gave him the opportunity as well to tap into real black hip-hop hate, right? And another question that I want to ask with him is, like, I feel like most people, if you're not a fan of Eminem, you won't follow him in terms of rapping. So what are your thoughts there? Do you think that he's an easy listen, or he's a very technically or a very difficult person to listen to?
I wouldn't say. I think the only conversation with Eminem is not even about his lyrics, because he's lyrical. I think it's the matter of his skin, because you must understand that hip hop, our culture is very much territorial, right? We want black people to do this. When another person do it, from whether they're Mexican or whatever, even if they're the greatest, you always want to put rappers like, I don't know, for generation, okay, from the 2010s.
So hold on, are you saying that the reason why Eminem gets all this, respect in hip hop?
Okay.
I see that the color of his skin plays a role.
Not the color. It plays a role because of he pushed through the limits. Listen, he pushed through the limits.
Prior to Eminem being popular, there were also white rappers in hip hop, like the Beastie Boys.
Okay, would you say the Beastie Boys had Eminem's?
The Beastie Boys has
Vanilla Ice.
The Beastie Boys have one of the greatest albums of all time.
Okay, but I never listened to those ones. I'm not gonna lie, trip on the camera and say I listen to those guys. I listen to Eminem, and then his lyricism, because you can see the way he plays with his words, he can make anything right, bruh. So I think for that, that's the only thing that's making him get his respect. Like, we can put him closely to Rakim, he can rhyme with anything.
But guys, I think
he's a damn good rapper. He's not even that's not even a joke. I was just trying to figure out to say, for a person who doesn't know Eminem and you put in a disc first time, would you get that impact? Maybe let me ask it that way. Like Nalo and Ali Dimane, we listen to hip hop, right? But let's say a new person and put in that disc. Like, do you think in first listen he'll get impact?
I don't know. I would say 50-50, because also you need to remember
people are selective listeners as well, I think.
No, besides being selective, you also need to remember, the nature of Eminem. You also need to remember the nature of Eminem's music. He's one of the most controversial rappers of all time. So I think the content of his music is not for everyone, and I think with him being unique in his own style, he came in with
I hear the content. Yeah. I'm not about the content.
He's saying, like, is it easy to listen to Eminem?
Like a first time listener.
Yeah, just listening
right?
to him.
Yeah. Like a first time listener. Would you get the impact of what he is saying when he's rhyming?
I would say